I didn't come to fight anyone. I didn't come to expose secrets. I only came to resign. But in this hospital, living is a crime, and knowing the truth means death. Everyone smiles here, but no one is free. My name is Nurse Christabel, and this hospital is my prison. Help, please help. Help get me out of this prison. Dr. Anslem slowly stood up from his chair, holding the resignation letter in his hand. He looked at Nurse Christabel and smiled, but there was something dark behind that smile. You are not going anywhere, Nurse Christabel, he said coldly. You know my secret now, and anyone who knows my secret does not just walk away. Christabel's heart skipped. She looked at him, unsure of what she just heard. Sir, I'm not trying to expose you. I just don't want to work here anymore. That's all. But Anslem shook his head and said, It's too late for that. You're already involved. He walked slowly around the office and stood behind her. Do you know what happened to the last person in charge of the maternity section? He whispered. Christabel slowly turned her head to look at him. You told me you sacked him, she said. I lied. She tried to resign too. She said she didn't want to be part of it anymore. She begged me, just like you're doing now. But do you know what I did? Anslem asked. Christabel remained silent. I killed her, Anslem said calmly. She's gone, buried right behind the staff quarters. That was 2 months ago. If you try to leave, you will join her. Christabel gasped and stepped away from him. Sir, please, I'm not a threat to you. I'm not trying to destroy your business, she said. Then, why do you want to leave? Anslem asked. Because my conscience would allow me to continue, she replied. I studied nursing to help people, not to sell babies. I just want to go back to my life. I won't say anything to anyone. Anslem laughed and returned to his seat. You're not going anywhere, he said. This hospital is your new home. You have no choice. Return to your duty post or prepare to die. Shaking with fear, Christabel nodded slowly and turned to leave the office. She walked out silently, her thoughts all over the place. The big hospital that once looked like heaven now felt like a prison. When she got to her apartment, she locked the door and sat on the floor. The staff quarters were neat and fully furnished, but it meant nothing to her now. The rules of the hospital were clear. Staff must live inside the quarters, and no one could leave the compound unless they had special permission from Dr. Anslem himself. It was all a trap. There was everything in the hospital: cinema, supermarket, salon, even a swimming pool. But all the beauty and comfort couldn't cover the evil inside the walls. Christabel thought of escaping, but knew it wasn't going to be easy. The gates were always guarded, and the security men answered only to Dr. Anslem. She now understood why nobody ever talked about leaving. She lay on the bed silently, asking herself how she ended up in such a terrible place. It was supposed to be the job of her dreams, but it had turned into a nightmare. Around 11:30 that night, another woman went into labor. Nurse Christabel was called immediately. She wore her uniform and rushed to the maternity ward. It was twins, 2 beautiful baby girls. She helped the mother deliver safely, cleaned the babies, and handed them over to the assistant nurse. The mother looked weak and confused. "Where are my babies?" she asked in a tired voice. Christabel didn't answer. She just walked away. Moments later, an expensive black car pulled up at the back of the hospital. A tall man stepped out and walked inside with a bag full of money. He looked straight at Christabel and smiled. "You did well," he said, handing her the bag. She opened it. It was 20 million naira, 10 for each baby. She didn't say anything. The man collected the 2 babies and left. Nurse Christabel carried the bag and walked back to Dr. Anslem's office. He collected the money and said, "You see how easy this is? You are lucky to be here. Money will never be your problem again." She said nothing. She was tired of hearing the same thing. The money meant nothing to her anymore. She was simply tired of everything. After leaving the office, Christabel dragged her feet back to her apartment. Her hands were shaking. Her legs were weak. The image of the mother crying for her babies remained in her head. The worst part was that she couldn't even help her. She had no power. She felt used and trapped. The money, the car, the apartment, none of it mattered anymore. She wanted her peace of mind back. She wanted her freedom. As soon as she got to her apartment, she locked the door, sat on the bed, and buried her face in her palms. She started crying. "I don't belong here," she whispered through her tears. "I just want to go home." The hospital had become a prison, and she was now a prisoner. She thought of calling her family, but quickly remembered that the hospital monitored all phone calls. Even her phone was given to her by the hospital. Nothing was private. Everyone smiled during the day, but behind those smiles were secrets and fear. She lay down on the cold floor and cried silently. "God, please help me," she said, hoping someone would hear. But she knew deep down that no one was coming. That night, the hospital remained busy. 2 more women were close to giving birth. Nurse Christabel knew she would be called again. She was scared, but what could she do? Dr. Anslem had made it clear. No one leaves, no one talks, no one questions anything. The women were just tools. The babies were products, and she had become part of it. As she lay there crying, her mind was filled with one question. How can I escape from this place without being killed? But no answer came, only silence. And that silence followed her as she wept alone in the dark. Thank you for watching. Watch out for season 3 of this interesting story, The New Nurse. Bye.